Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about natural selection, one of the important bases of Neo Darwinism. We have already discussed Neo Darwinism. You can refer my video, the link is given in the description box. So first of all, we will see what is selection. It is a combination of all forces that cause differential survival and differential reproduction among genetic variants or among the individuals that are genetically different. It is of two types, artificial selection and natural selection. Artificial selection, here the selective agencies or the factors of selection are not by chance or by the nature, but it is of human choice. In natural selection, these selective agencies are not of human choice, but these are natural. So what we can tell about natural selection? It is the machine that drives evolution, or in other words, evolution is driven by natural selection. Natural selection results in descent with modification. That is, or it means, those features of organisms of a population are favored that makes them better adapted to their environment, or those are responsible for the better adaptation of any individual or organism to their environment. So let us understand natural selection with this flow chart. It is differential contribution of the alleles of a gene to the gene pool of a population in the next generation. It helps in the differential contribution of only those alleles of the gene to the gene pool of a population in the subsequent generation, which is responsible for their better adaptation. Nature of natural selection. First is differential reproduction. It means individuals better adapted to the environment reproduce at a higher rate, that is, produce more offspring compared to the less adapted ones. Hence, better adapted individuals contribute greater percentage of genes to the gene pool of the subsequent generation compared to the less adapted ones. And this brings evolutionary changes because there is the change in the gene frequency by the differential reproduction, or because differential reproduction of genes or gene combinations are favored. This differential reproduction is achieved by increased adaptability of the individual to the particular environment, decrease vulnerability to the factors which are responsible for the death of the individual or organism. Better chances of sexual selection, that is, these have the more chances of being sexually selected. Positive selection of useful genetic variability. Useful genetic variability are positively selected and then these are contributed to the subsequent generation. Now let us understand this differential reproduction. With the help of this figure, this is the initial population in a particular environment. Here this is the wild type and this is the mutant type. Wild type are due to the wild type genes and mutant are due to the presence of mutant genes. Now, due to some factors, there is the change in the environment. And the change is such that mutant varieties are better suited or better adapted to that change environment compared to the wild type. Now, the mutant ones survive and reproduce more often compared to the wild type. And there is heredity. That is, surviving mutants produce more mutants. They have the reproductive advantage And this is known as differential reproduction because there is difference in the reproduction of mutant and the wild type. Mutant one reproduce more often compared to the wild type. Hence, differential reproduction. So what will be the end result? Mutants are now more common in the population. Because of the differential reproduction, their number in the population increases compared to the wild type. And we already know that these mutant varieties are due to the mutated genes. So what happens? Because these mutant varieties are advantageous over the wild type, so the mutated genes that are responsible for these mutant or these traits keep on increasing in the population over a long period, and this results in evolution. Second is encouragement of beneficial genes. Natural selection encourages genes that results in highest adaptive efficiency between population and its environment. That means it encourages those genes which makes the population better adapted to its environment. Reproduction and survival of more suited individual is favored in each generation. This brings improved adaptive relation between organisms and environment in subsequent generation, and hence organism becomes better adapted to the environment generation after generation. So we can say the natural selection results in evolution, or in other words, natural selection is a creative force in evolution and it favors only those gene combination which makes an organism better adapted to the environment or better suited to the environment. So this is all for today's video. In the next video, we will discuss about evidences of natural selection or the experiments that were performed to prove the natural selection. So stay tuned. If you like this video, please hit the like button, share it and subscribe my channel. Thank you.